Hi friends, welcome again to the Singer Studio. So, Nessun Dorma by Turandot. This is one of the most beloved, popular arias in the world. It's one of the most recorded, it's one of the most sung arias, which is kind of surprising because it's also extraordinarily difficult. Let's work through it. And at the end of the video, in classic YouTube style, if you stick to the end, I'm going to tell you what I think are my three favorite renditions of this aria. And one of them I think might surprise you. I'll try to link them down below as well. This is pure Puccini style. It comes at this pivotal moment in the opera. The tenor has to deliver a cracking, stonking B natural at the end, or it's all for nothing. It's extraordinarily difficult for the tenor to sustain the high tessitura that exists in the aria and be able to get that high note at the end. But there are one or two things we can do in this. Well, you can do. I'm not a tenor. I won't be mad enough to sing this. That can make it a little difficult. Now, I keep saying this to all of you, but I want you to know the difference between open and closed vowels in Italian. There's a huge difference between singing Nessun Dorma and Nessun Dorma. Yeah. Singing the closed vowel of Nessun and then singing the open vowel of dorma will make you instantly sound more Italian. Nessun dorma, not Nessun Dorma. I know some Italians of old school will sing Nessuna dorma and put that little schwa in the end. It's kind of considered to be bad Italian, even though Italians sing it. So it's Nessun dorma, and it's simple. You're just making a statement. Nobody will sleep. Nobody will sleep. Nobody sleeps, yeah? Nessun dorma, nessun dorma. Then you have the next line. Those two first sentences, those two first statements are setting something up. Tu pure, o principessa. Now, because it's pure Puccini, there is going to be a lot of rubato and there's going to be a lot of well-orchestrated portamento. What do I mean by well-orchestrated portamento? I mean portamento sul fiato, on the breath, not confiato, not with the breath. When we do portamento in any kind of romantic style from, all bel canto all the way upwards to verismo, but particularly in verismo, there has to be vibrato with it. The great Italian singers of the great Italian schools would always understand that, so that they would build their whole technique around a body that moves with the music. So, of course, you wouldn't have to say to one of the older singers who was grown and steeped in this style, make sure there's vibrato in the portamento, because they would just, they would have it there anyway. Nowadays, when we want to sing different music, we want to sing a bit of Schumann and a bit of Schubert, we have to adopt a physical, stylistic approach to this music. All right. Tu pure, o principessa. I like to fill this tu pure, it just means you too. Or principessa. Now, if you were speaking in Italian, you would put the stress on principessa. But because this is sung line, we can sometimes play with the stresses. We've said this before. So yes, and also there will be a natural stress because Bessa is at the beginning of the bar. So if you go tu pure, o principessa, you are highlighting the word principessa, yeah, which is extraordinarily important. You too, princess. Listen, how do you think you pronounce the word nella? It's nella, not nella. Nella tua fredda stanza. When we have a double consonant which is going to actually block the flow of air, there's always a decision to be made about the portamento. So do you go nella nella tua fredda stanza? Do you have the portamento and then block, or do you simply go nella tua fredda stanza? I suggest the latter. If you can make the first one work in that beautiful, seamless vibrato portamento style, you can try it, but it's always cleaner. Guardi. You don't want to scoop up there, but you want to have a feeling that the body's got some cushion. You don't want to hit it. Guardi. If you just use the gua, remember the U in Italian allows us to have some sort of feeling of the front of the mouth going into the R. Guardi le stelle. And portamento is everywhere. Guardi le stelle. I've got my IPA here. I've been singing it in Italian for 40 years. I speak Italian with many mistakes, of course, like most of us opera singers. But I always check reputable sources for open or closed vowels when I'm learning an aria, and I suggest you do too. Yeah, guardi le stelle, close. Che tremano d'amore. Normally, when you have a sort of a dotted note followed by a quaver or a crotchet, normally the portamento is a little bit less, but here I wouldn't do less. I would still be che tremano d'amore. I would just do that double D before d'amore. Yeah, let me get back in pitch. Speranza. So remember we've said this. I'm going to keep saying this until people really don't need to be heard it anymore. Speranza is a double consonant. You have NZ. It's not double consonant because they're the same consonants where you have this stoppage of breath. But an N and a Z is still a double consonant. And it's sort of like almost like a Germanic style. We can have some sort of singing on the N. And, not air, but beautiful portamento there. Speranza. Legato is not the removal of consonants. Legato is the embracing of consonants. We need to keep saying that. Now, in all languages, the word but is really important because it signifies a change in our thought process. We turn our thoughts in another direction. And you've got a classic one here. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me. Yeah? But my mystery is closed, is locked in me. Again, in me, double consonant there. Ma il mio. Italians really do like to bite their vowels, especially their closed vowels, like E, yeah? Il means nothing. For non-Italian speakers, many of these sort of so-called romantic languages put an article in front of a noun, the opposite of what they do in many of the Eastern European languages where they have no articles. It helps the case structure understand where you are in the sentence. So you need to really sing into the article, even though it just means the, and the would not be translated. You would not say, but the my mystery, but my mystery, you would say. So it doesn't translate, but it's important for the Italian meaning in the Italian line. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me. I am going to sing mistero, and I'm going to embrace the unvoiced consonant. It adds another color to the line, yeah? Okay, let's carry on. Il nome, another voice double consonant, il nome. And we're going to use that N to get a nice feeling of frontal buzz with our low laryngeal feeling that we need to get to the high note at the end. Il nome mio nessun saprà. No. So you're going to delineate the line here, but still keep the legato. Il nome mio nessun. Puccini's put a flat accent on the line, which means that's one of his markings. As I've said in the videos on Verdi that I've made, but I don't think I've released yet, we need to really work out what all these different markings mean because they mean different things for different composers, and we can't have a wish-washy idea. You need to know what with a phrase line and a line above what Puccini wanted, and always do the same. Otherwise, you'll never sound right when you sing. You'll never sound stylistically correct. Il nome mio nessun saprà. Remember when you have the grave going at the end of the word, it's sort of it's something that will be. You will il nome mio nessun saprà. You will never know my name. never know, saprà my name. Sing all these consonants, these voiced consonants, and then when you get an unvoiced consonant and you sing it properly, you put it in its place, the legato line sounds so idiomatic. Your mouth will start to move, come in italiano, yeah? You will start to get this mouthfeel for the language, which is so important. So don't say, il nome mio nessun saprà, no, no. It just doesn't sound very nice. You want to make it sound juicy. Listen to the singers that I'm going to mention at the end. One of them particularly, Italian singer, and you'll see what I mean. Singing in beautiful, articulated Italian and not being afraid of consonants and vowels in the same line. Il nome mio nessun saprà, no, no, sulla tua bocca lo dirò. Oh, I wish I was a tenor I could sing up there. What fun it would be. No, you will only know it on when I put it on your lips. I will tell you basically when I will kiss it to your lips. Very poetic language here. You can go to the top eight, and it's kind of like a middle climax. Yeah, Puccini hasn't written any. He's written Ben cantando at the My Mistero, so he wants the orchestra to be accompanying you. I would suggest there's a feeling of moving on. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me, due time. Il nome, so when you're not singing the orchestra, you can have a bit of a hiatus. Il nome mio nessun saprà, no, no. And now, sulla tua bocca lo dirò. So that you earned the right just to broaden that tope on bocca. Yeah, sing a proper O, then put the C, and then do what I didn't do, and do lo dirò, and then gather your energy for the quando. Quando la luce. Take your time. The pause is not just on the note. Put the pl, which. The p and the l, which is a voice consonant, and this really put it on that note. I've got a bit sharp, I apologise. You want that downward portamento with the diminuendo at the same time, and all that vibrato, yeah? Now, to go back, I love guardi, quando, because it really allows me to sing into that ooh vowel. Most singers who sort of practice sort of ancient bel canto technique and understand about low larynx and connecting the body, connecting the back to the breath, etc. We do a lot of work on ooh vowels, and we do a lot of work on ooh slightly opening into r vowels. So if you get the chance to sing an ooh and an r, it's like giving yourself a little vocal massage in the middle of a piece. So I would never throw away quando la luce splenderà. When you get to the lower note, the C sharp, let the orchestra know you're going on. Have a forward intention. Splenderà. Yeah. Now, ed il mio bacio. Ed is, they put a D there because you can't say il. It's very awkward for the Italians to say il. It isn't really, but it's what they do. It just means and, Ed il mio bacio, and my kiss scioglierà silenzio, and my kiss, you, and my kiss scioglierà, of course it means will dissolve. Again, you've got that accent scioglierà. The silence that makes you mine, basically, is what you're singing. So you're finishing the first section. And in your head, because we keep talking about this idea about knowing where you are in your music, leading the audience with a silver thread through your music, you know exactly where you are, so that you can dictate their appreciation and their direction. It's like you're leading a blind man through a jungle, yeah? So you have to be very clear. Ending the first section, the chorus is going to sing a little bit. So you need to have that feeling of cadencing that we've talked a lot ed il mio bacio scioglierai silenzio. Again, there's a diminuendo, a crescendo and a diminuendo. Ed il mio bacio scioglierai silenzio. Do it. Puccini knew what he wanted. He really knew what he wanted. We'll talk about the B natural to come in a bit. And he wanted this feeling of you holding the line, crescendo in the line and going away from the line with that lovely portamento. Che ti fa mia. Fa mia, be mine, until you are mine, yeah? It's an important, and it's got this... That's kind of one of those heroic motives, isn't it? Yeah. So sing it. After all this, they're like, oh, I'm going to sulla tua bocca lo dirò. After all this sort of like lofty, highfalutin ideas, you're going to sing that you will be mine. Che ti fa mia. Now, Puccini's written two crotches. Fa mia, di, 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 di. You want to feel that you blend your R into that line, yeah? So keep singing it. Don't phrase it off is what I'm saying. Let the melody, let the orchestra take over the melodic line, leading into the orchestra, the chorus singing di 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 di. And then you pick it up again. Now, if you've given too much, if you've really shouted everything, if you as tenors have put too much on these low notes that the aria demands you drop down into, you will have nothing for the climax. What a shame. If you've just allowed those top A's to really buzz in sort of head voice with that low larynx and connected back, now you should be absolutely flying here. And there's lots of different ways you can do it. Puccini has written con anima di legua notte. He wants energy there, with energy, con anima, yeah? And then poco rit, tramontate stelle. I am not wedded to any single interpretive idea for this aria. Some singers really hold this up. Now, I know Puccini has written poco rit, but Puccini wasn't really like Verdi, and this is why it's so important to know the character of the composer, because then you've got a better chance of actually getting to what they really wanted when they're with their dynamic markings. Puccini was this sort of like debonair ladies' man. He liked fast cars. He lived a big life. He wrote his pieces, and then he went off and had a great life. Puccini was Verdi was obviously, even though he was a farmer, more academic. He wanted it as he wanted it. He wanted you to observe his dynamic markings. He had far more knowledge about the idea of tonality in the emotional sense. So that's why I'm going to make a video when I say that some of the interpolated high notes in Verdi are wrong. That's going to be a cat amongst the pigeons note, yeah? So when he wrote Poco Rit, he was just trying to rein people in. The top B natural that's coming, okay, the very earliest recordings of this, they do sing Vincero, and they are sort of felicitous to Puccini's markings. But I think Puccini, on all these climactic high notes, he knew singers were going to sing the higher note, and he also wanted singers to sing well. There's that famous story when he told Caruso, if you want to drop it down to semitone do, I don't mind. He wasn't wedded to anything like this. We also know that he was very happy for translations of his pieces and things like that. He wanted people to sing his music well. So writing what he's written is allowing you to do the minimum and still make it work, depending on your vocal ability. So if you really want to broaden that out, I really don't think there's a problem with it myself personally. But also if you want to move forward and do the Poco Rit as written, I don't think there's a problem with that either. I think both ways can work, yeah? Let's do it. Ti legua notte tramontate stelle, tramontate stelle, tramontate, set you, stars. It's a poetic idea. Disperse, O night, tramontade stelle. Set your stars, all'alba, at dawn, vincerò. I will win. So that's so important, vincerò. That's the important part. Kind of funny, isn't it? Everyone goes vincerò, when actually the stress, the grave, is on the last note. But That's just, as we said, we can play around with the accents in the melodic line. If you listen to the recordings I'm going to suggest at the end, you'll hear that there's not one way of doing it, but what you have to have is really good text. I hate it when I hear tenors go, oh, it doesn't work for me. You have to be able to sing tramonta, which means that you cannot be using any kind of like false support of the lips and the tongue. You know how sometimes it's very easy to use consonants as a false support. The resistance for the breath has to come in proper connection and proper laryngeal connection. Yeah. So you need tramonta, double consonant, anta, tramontate, tramontate. There is an NT in there, and that's a double consonant. But tate is not a double consonant. But there is still quite a strong movement of the lip to the upper part of the mouth. Ta, te, stelle, and stelle, stars. Stella, you want a lot of energy in your text there. That means you have to have really good breath connection. And then when you say it again, pick it up. I have this idea that when you repeat a phrase or repeat a word, it's a nice idea to accent the beginning of that word. So if I wanted to say, I love you, I love you. You know what I mean? So tramontate stelle, tramontate stelle. Yeah? Puccini's written these little marks again above. He wants to stress that. He wants an elongated stress, like you're singing a forest song. Really place the voice V of V, and then pick up your energy. Do the diminuendo if you like. I like it sweetly placed. All'alba vi. But on that Dorma portamento, I want the energy to begin again because I'm building towards this incredible climax. Vincera. I'm going to sing the NC chair. There, very important. Yeah. Take a nice breath. Open the back. Lower the larynx. Make sure the breath is settling your laryngeal position. Vincera. And then, now, don't sing at such a close vowel on the V that your throat is locked for the or, yeah, on the vincer on the top vowel. But also similarly, don't sing like I've heard a few tenors recently do it. Sing the words, yeah. You want to feel, to quote my old teacher and friend David Burrell, you want to have a conversation on that B natural. It's not static. It's not Vincero. We're not Andrea Bocelli. You want to have a conversation. You want to feel that as we said about the idea about the bel canto technique allows the breath to move. You want to feel your breath moving in that aria. So I would have my back going back down to its position. I'm an advocate of back breathing. We have to learn to breathe with the back. 70% of all the connective tissue of the diaphragm is connected to the back muscles, the back ribs, etc. So we have to feel that the back is moving on that phrase. Yeah, and you want to feel that there's a portamento down, and you want to coordinate landing on the A with the orchestra. Too many times in it's a bit late, and then it's a bit ruined, in my opinion. Obviously, technically, you're going to feel a lot of bursts up here. You're going to have that connection, but technically, that's a matter for you and your teacher to work out how to sing this. But as I said, the important thing is to feel that you're singing the rest of the aria with total commitment. The audience does not want to feel that you're coasting or you're not really engaged, but you don't want to be pounding too much the rest of the aria so that the high note at the end doesn't speak. If I were a tenor singing this, I would probably sing over and over and over and over and over and over again, finding how I really get my body to get into the right position on the in-breath before. Oh, by the way, Vincera. Take time. Don't sing that G beforehand so long that you have to go, yeah. Little smart things like that, of course, shouldn't have to say it. And then you sing it and you put your arms down. How long you sing in the last A? Well, I love many different interpretations of this aria. I grew up listening to Pavarotti sing it. I still love Pavarotti singing. My favorite recording of all of this aria is the so-called slow version of it by Jussi Björling. Jussi Björling is probably my favorite tenor of all time. Pretty much certain I can say that. There's a famous recording, and there's stories surrounding it about how I think about whether he was drunk and whether he'd fallen out with the conductor, and the conductor wanted to upset him, so they did it slow. I don't know what the truth of the matter is. I'm sure people who know more about it can comment on that. But there's a version by Jussi Björling which is particularly slow, and he holds the end so long. The other version I love the most is the Franco Corelli version. I remember I was working with a great singer and a great teacher and a great coach called Robert Dean. If you're out there, Robert, if you ever hear this, my gosh, I love working with you. Wonderful, wonderful man. And I got to his house and he runs and he's in tears almost, wanting me to listen to Corelli's Be Natural at the end. I am a huge fan of Franco Corelli, as any tenor should be. He is a tenor's tenor. And then the third version of this, which is going to surprise some of you, I think, is by Seok-young Baek, if I pronounce that correctly. He's a young Korean tenor. I've just heard him singing at the Royal Opera House. And yeah, it's really, really special. He has an easy top with a dark sound, and he's able to sing the last note, the last A, extremely long. A little bit vulgar, some might say, but it's just got this beautiful sound. Whether that's because it's new to me, I don't know. Whether it's going to still be in my top 3 Nessun Dormas in a year's time, I don't know. But they're my 3 favorite Nessun Dorma recordings if I was going to have to make a playlist. Okay, thank you for watching. If you like this video, like, subscribe, get involved, find me on Facebook. If you want to work with me, if you want to coach me to coach you, if you want me to teach you, I'm teaching people now all over the world via Zoom, and I'm absolutely loving it. This channel is really kicking off. Please watch the Dimitri tribute, watch the Maria Callas tribute. I can't believe how many new subscribers I've got thanks to those. I'm going to continue to make these tribute videos. I'm working on my Plácido Domingo tribute video, which I'm going to address all aspects of this man, the good and the bad. Honestly, I was lucky enough to sing with him and work with him on the stage, and I was a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of his work. We're going to have lots more videos like this. We're going to continue to talk about these esoteric ideas. I've got a video to release about singers and the mask, the true identity of the singer. We're going to talk about every aspect of singing. My book is going through the publishing process, so hopefully that will be, I'll have some news about that soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got anything you want me to say, or want me to make a video about, get in touch. And yeah, see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.